In 2006, Hudson released the subject of today's hidden gems, Kororinpa, which is directly inspired by old marble mazes. I don't think this game ever gains that much popularity, probably because of the title, which means very little to the average person, but apparently is a Japanese onomatopoeic word for the sound a rolling marble makes. However, for fans of puzzle games, it's well worth the trouble of seeking it out. Let's get the ball rolling. The actual in-game assets are mostly fine, albeit starting to show their age a bit. The main problem I have with this game, at least the version that was released in PAL territories, are the horrifically large borders and the squashed looking aspect ratio. I find this really off-putting. If your TV has some kind of zoom mode, you can circumvent this to a certain degree, but it is a shame Hudson didn't take the time to optimise the game. Other than that issue, the game features a nice colourful graphics and a range of settings, including a world which is entirely made of cakes, biscuits and chocolate, as well as one set in a garden. Think Micro Machines, but with marbles. As for the ball, it is an accurate representation of a small glass sphere, but this is not your only option. As you progress through the levels, you will unlock a whole slew of alternative balls, including a panda head, a pig and a frog. All of these have an effect on the physics and the way the ball behaves, some making what is already a fairly challenging game even tougher, and others slowing the pace down a little. Don't expect Kororinpa to really blow you away with its visuals, but they are functional at best. Music in Kororinpa consists of tunes of a whimsical, cheerful nature. They are, I have to say, somewhat on the cheesy side, but mostly suit the overall tone of the game. Besides this, if you choose one of the alternative balls, the frog for example, you can expect comedy rivets as you collide with obstacles. This will probably raise a few smiles, especially from younger players. This is the best thing about the game. It is entirely controlled by tilting the maze using the Wii remote. This takes some getting used to at first, as it doesn't take much movement of your wrist to send the ball flying off into the stratosphere, but with a bit of patience and prudence you will start to get the hang of things. The overall object of the game is to collect a certain number of orange crystals from around the maze and then get to the goal. There isn't really a fail state, falling off just sends you back to the start. There is the fun addition of a two-player split-screen mode, where you race each other to be the first to get to the end. Again, this suffers from the stupidly large black borders that encroach on the real estate of the game. A real shame. Levels start off fairly easy to deal with, but increase in complexity and challenge as you move through the various worlds. By the second world, you will have to deal with moving lifts, obstacles that either get in the way or actively try to push your ball off the stage, and maze layouts that see you having to flip the whole level 90 degrees. It's great fun, and the lack of a game over screen prevents things from getting too frustrating. Marble maze based video games have been done before, most famously with Marble Madness, but Kororinpa successfully implements the tilt controls of the Wii remote and contains many cleverly designed stages. Kororinpa won't take you all that long to finish if you are persistent, but the addition of the 2-player mode adds some life to the game. The game can actually fetch prices of up to £20 on eBay, which does show that it is in demand by those who are aware of what it is. A sequel with the title of Marbles Balance Challenge was released in 2009 and is even pricier, frequently selling for £25 to £30. The sequel features even more levels, more variety of gameplay, and is quite hard in places. I would recommend trying out the sequel if you enjoy the original. Kororinpa is still a game that occasionally gets dusted off and booted up when I visit my brother, as he is also a fan of this sort of game and the multiplayer mode is a lot of fun. If you are in the mood for a fun and colourful puzzle game, or you are a fan of marble mazes, then you should definitely think about adding it to your Wii collection.